Yo, what's good boys? Welcome to the last tutorial. In terms of Obsidian, this will be the last tutorial you guys are going to get sent to your emails. So yeah, Obsidian is going to come out any day now. The date is actually going to be the 19th of August. Obsidian is coming out, so yeah, make sure you guys are keeping an eye on your emails, because of course it's going to be sent to you before anybody else. You're going to be able to get it before anybody else for the lowest possible price. You really do not want to miss out on this. It's a limited time offer. I'm super excited to bring this to you guys. Yeah, without further ado, let's get into the tutorial. And this one's just going to be tips and tricks on how to get better at certain parts of production that maybe aren't talked about as much. Some of these probably need their own video, but I'm going to condense it down into one for you guys. And in this video we're going to be covering 808 slides, melody effects, transitions and shortcuts, like keybinds basically, in FL Studio. Alright, so I got this really basic drill beat. I feel like this is kind of the best way to demonstrate how to make 808 slides, because no other style of beats really use it that much. Like in drill it's kind of like a necessity. So yeah, I used one of the loops from Obsidian for this as well, and obviously all the drum sounds. Oh. So yeah, we're going to do some drill slides, 808 slides on this, and I'll tell you guys how you can do it as well. So first of all, you need an 808 for that, of course. Now the first thing you need to do with an 808 is you need to make sure it's somewhat long. You don't want a short 808 for 808 slides, because it's not going to have enough sound to slide. It will just stop before it even gets to slide properly. So you need a fairly long 808 like this. This is a good one. You also want to put it on an envelope. If you're not in FL Studio, I'm not really sure how else you would do this, but basically it just, instead of having it like this, yeah, it does it like this. You see how the note just kind of stops, like it doesn't keep going? That's how you would add slides to make it kind of more punchy, and just it stops the note trailing on a little bit. So yeah, you need to do that. And obviously you need to cut the 808 by itself so it doesn't overlap with any others and sound bad. Obviously it goes without saying you need to tune your 808, obviously. We're actually going to put a little camel crusher on it, because it's quite hard to hear. If you guys are watching this on mobile, you probably won't even hear that, but now you don't really want to have a slide. So say I had a note here and I wanted to have a slide happening in here. What you wouldn't do is you wouldn't just place it in. So obviously this is how you do a slide. You just you double click on the note you want to slide. It has to be a short note, of course. It brings up this little thing here, and you just click here, slide, accept, and now the note is a slide note, so it's silent and it just slides up. But yeah, what I was saying was, I wouldn't recommend having it at the end of a long note like this. With this 808 it doesn't sound too bad, but mostly it's just going to sound a bit weird. What I would recommend doing is, if you want to have a slide there, you want to do this. You want to add a new note at the bottom, like this, and then do it like this. It just sounds better. The longer you have the slide note, the longer it's going to take to slide up. So if I have it all the way, it takes like the whole duration of the note to slide up. Whereas if I have it quite short like this, it's pretty much instant. Just copy that over. Maybe pitch them up an octave. Yeah, I'll be like, that sounds quite good. That sounds quite cool. So yeah, that's basically all you need to know about slides for 808s. And also another little cool effect for an 808 is if you just delay the attack a little bit. Obviously, depending on the 808 you use, you get a different sound. So if I try a slightly different 808 real quick, so we'll just try this one real quick. I only know the key of this. So yeah, that's basically sliding 808s. That's basically all you need to know about that. Melody effects. We're going to grab ourselves a little melody from Obsidian. We'll just grab some. Actually, no, what we'll do is we'll use some MIDI and we'll make a melody from scratch, right? So let's just load up a VST, something quite basic, just to demonstrate what we can do with melody effects, right? So we'll just load up a piano. Just G sharp minor will go F. So if you want to give your melody kind of like that realistic feel, press Alt R, and that will randomize the velocities. It's quite subtle, so don't expect it to do a lot, but it just like makes it a little bit more realistic sounding. Obviously with the velocities, it's kind of the amount you press a note. Like if you go on a MIDI keyboard and you like lightly press a note, the velocity is going to be really low, whereas if you like proper press it, it's high. So basically it just kind of emulates the feel of a real piano. And Alt S as well, which does like a strum effect, which you can mess with. Obviously if you're really playing the piano, you're not going to be playing the notes at the exact same time. So it just gives it a bit more of a realistic feel. I talk about this all the time in my YouTube videos, so you guys probably seen me do this before. Okay, melody effects. So obviously EQ, heavily slept on effect. People just use it to kind of like clean up their melodies and stuff, but you can really use it to give your melody a different feel. And it's with these waveforms that come up that you can really do that. Quite like that. That's quite cool. Reverb, obviously you guys will know about, well, you might not, but I'm assuming you guys would know about reverb. The key to a good reverb is to have the low cut somewhat up, at least to 300. Not too long of a decay, depending on what you're using it for, but for like an instrument like this, you don't really want the decay up like that. I would have to mix down a bit as well. Leave the pre-delay. Color I don't really know what the color does, it just changes it a bit. And obviously it's on a concert hall type reverb, which is like just a basic reverb really. Delay is also a good effect, so we use Echo Boy for this. But you can use like anything. This is just gonna be a basic delay. So 1/8. We can make it sound a little bit more extreme if we want, with a few effects that I've used before. Like RC20 is one of them, very common. There's all different types of effects in here. Portal is also quite cool. If you guys want like a free plugin, Valhalla Supermassive, very weird. That's a nice little gem. Portal as well. I've used this a lot. Obviously, I wouldn't normally have all of these on it at once, just because this is just like, it's just too much. But like as a demo, I feel like I can get away with it. That's one of my go-to effects. Mangle smears, a few in here that are really cool, like in stretch and smear. But you can go into like guitars and keys. Pretty cool. There's also a few others I use, like Decimort 2. This is just like a resampler really. And then what we could do is just to finish it off, just add a halftime. Maybe the decimal can be changed. So yeah, that's basically melody effects that I use. Definitely go and check out some of those VSTs. There's a few of the free ones in there, like Valhalla Supermassive, which was actually really good. And you can probably get like most of these for the cheap anyway. So yeah, check those out if you want. Transitions. Okay, now we need to open up something else for this. Okay, so here we've got a nice little beat. It has no transitions. It has a little bit here. This is sort of a transition. Where you just kind of take everything away, but it's pretty basic. So with Obsidian, you can do a lot of good transitions with the drum sounds. Well, it's in the drum kit, but basically, yeah, the effects folder in this kit is very detailed and has a lot of stuff in there: atmospheres, falls, rises. You know, this is just for the intro. Literally, just like a really quiet texture type thing. That's way too loud. I'll probably have it like there. Next we've got some risers. Number 2 is my personal favorite. I like the simple ones, but there's so many cool ones in there you guys can experiment with if you're looking for that type of thing. But yeah, basically just using a riser for a transition is good because it kind of makes it more obvious that it's coming up to a big drop or something. So I usually would put it at the start for the intro going into the main drop, like the chorus here, and then the verse coming out into the chorus. Probably put it into a track, probably turn it down a little bit and add a reverb, just because the tail of it doesn't have a reverb, so it's just going to sound a bit weird. So do something like that. A little bit loud, but yeah, that's basically what it is. That leads into that bit of the beat quite well. Another thing you can do is you can take that same riser, make it unique and reverse it and turn it into a fall. Oh, that sounds hard, especially because there's no drums playing as well. It just kind of, it's just there. Like, yeah, that sounds sick. Like I said, this is technically a transition as well. So what I did was I literally just like that big chord, that I waited for that, and then everything comes back in again. Like obviously the snare comes in first because that kind of drives the rhythm a bit more than the 808. So like the snare and the hat come in a little bit before. But basically what I'm trying to say is, if you want to make a little transition for your guys' beats, taking away stuff like this, especially in the verse sections and stuff. As you can see at the end of the verse, I took out the last 808 as well, just because it helps sort of leave that little gap that just makes the 808 when it comes back around in the chorus hit a little bit harder. But yeah, like taking away stuff like this is a good way to add transitions as well. Finally, shortcuts. Let's talk about shortcuts. We'll use this beat as an example. Okay, so an obvious shortcut that I've already spoken about is Alt-R. Randomizes the velocity, the pan, all sorts of stuff inside the piano roll. So this is good for hi-hats, you know, just to give it a little bit more of a sort of rhythm with the velocities, and panning is quite cool, so we'll do that. That's Alt-R. Shift, press shift and you can go left, right, up, down. It just helps you quickly kind of change the pitch of things. Like this is good for 808s or for sounds you want to try in different, you know, different key. If you want to go up an octave, it's control up or down. That goes up a whole octave, so that's good for melodies. What else is there? Alt-Y, that basically flips things backwards. You can't even tell because I haven't got any MIDI. If we do it with this, you can see Alt-Y flips it backwards. Flip horizontally, you can also flip vertically, which will be interesting. Alt-A, that basically adds an arpeggiator to the notes. So you can do all sorts of weird stuff with this. Like this is good for counting melodies and stuff if you're not too sure. Control B, that duplicates the whole section over. Control Z is undo. So you guys will just do that. Undo. Control Z and then Control Alt Z. Yeah, I'm getting confused. Okay, Control B, yeah. Control Z, yeah. Control X is to delete stuff. Control S is to save. Very important for you guys that lose beats because your FL crashes or whatever. Make sure you're saving it all the time. Those are like the important ones. What's Control L is like joining notes up. So if you want to connect all your notes, like your 808s or hi-hats or whatever. Alt Q is quantize. But yeah, that's basically shortcuts. All the ones that I use anyway, that are quite good. So that is basically how you do all that. Those are some tips and tricks for making beats and stuff inside FL Studio. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Yeah, it's been fun making all these tutorials for you guys. I hope you'll stick around, stay on the email list. Obsidian is coming on the 19th. I don't know what day this video is going to come out for you guys, but it'll be within a day or two of it dropping. So I hope you guys invest in that because it is honestly such a great product. For a great price as well, of course. Make sure you stick around after Obsidian comes out. There's all sorts of new content that's going to be coming out. I'm going to be keeping active with the email list subscribers. Yeah, making sure you guys are getting some cool stuff. So yeah, stick around. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.